What if the hero history mocked as a fool was the one who carried the heaviest burden of all? What if he was erased, his sacrifice forgotten, while others were celebrated as legends? Today, we step into the story of Hamel, a warrior who died in the shadows of greatness, only to awaken 300 years later with every memory of his past life intact. This isn't just another tale of swords and demons. It's a story of regret, rivalry, and redemption. Welcome back to Manhwa Vortex, the place where we bring the most powerful Manhwa stories to life, one epic chapter at a time. Inside the demon realm, where a towering castle looms, the warrior Vermouth and his 4 companions step inside to face the demon kings. They had already slain 3 of the 5 rulers of this dark land, but 2 still remained. A sea of demons charges at them, yet with a single slash of his blade, Vermouth clears a path as if they were nothing. Such is the strength of the great Vermouth. Behind him, a mage speaks up, saying that against this many foes, she can finally unleash her magic. And so she does. Countless elements burst forth at her command, wiping out enemies in an instant. This is Senya, the Wise. A priestess steps forward, raising her hands to bless her allies with holy light. But suddenly a demon lunges at her. She isn't as defenseless as she looks. This is Annis, the Faithful. Next, the burliest of the group swings his massive axe. With just one strike, he cuts down dozens, leaving blood and bodies in his wake. This is Moron, the Brave. And last is the scarred warrior who shouts for Vermouth to stop charging ahead as he carves his own way through the horde. This is Hamel, the Foolish. He always saw Vermouth as his rival, though no one else acknowledged it. With the lesser demons finally defeated, the party scans for threats. That's when Hamel notices danger closing in on Vermouth. At the last second, he leaps forward, taking the deadly blow himself. The one who struck him is no ordinary demon. Its power is overwhelming. Hamel falls, the wound fatal. The demon attacks Vermouth next, but this time Vermouth is ready. With a single precise slash, he cuts the creature in half. The party rushes to Hamel's side. Vermouth stares down, his expression heavy, saying Hamel didn't need to die like this. But Hamel insists this death is honorable. With his final breaths, he admits regret that he wasn't honest with his parents. He stretches out his hand and tells Vermouth to finish the fight against the demon kings. Vermouth grasps his hand and swears in the name of his warrior's pride that every demon king will fall. Hamel smiles faintly, making peace with his companions. To Annis, he asks for her prayers. To Moron, he declares him the bravest of them all. And turning to Senya, he admits that he always liked her. But suddenly the scene shifts. A gray-haired boy with golden eyes slams the book shut, fuming. He mutters that he never once said he liked Senya. It was just a fabricated story. Every time he reads this ridiculous tale, it infuriates him. To most, it's nothing more than a children's story. If only he knew who the author was, he'd give them a piece of his mind. Looking back at the pages, he scoffs at how his comrades were given titles like the Wise, the Faithful, and the Brave. Even Vermouth was the Great, yet he alone was forever branded the Foolish. Could this book have been written by someone he had beaten up 300 years ago? And why didn't his companions ever correct it? Still, it makes sense. None of them would ever imagine that Hamel, who died while subjugating the demon kings 3 centuries ago, would be reborn with all his memories intact. Now he goes by the name Eugene Lionheart, a descendant of Vermouth, and he's only 13 years old. In his past life, Vermouth had taken many concubines beyond his first wife. Eugene finds that strange since Vermouth was never the type to chase women. Maybe he changed, or maybe it was simply natural. Either way, the direct bloodline descends only from the first wife. Those of other wives and branches, though they bear the Lionheart name, are treated as lesser. Branch families are forbidden from training mana or wielding real swords until after a sacred bloodline ritual. Even so, for a 13-year-old, Eugene is remarkably built. He believes this will be the last day he wields a wooden sword. As he trains, his movements are swift, sharp. So fast, the wooden dummy splits in 2 with ease. His father watches in shock, noting it isn't the first time his son has broken one. Turning to face him, Eugene's muscles stand out. His father trembles slightly. This child of his feels too mature. Too dangerous. There's no innocence left in those eyes. Even though Eugene lost his mother young, he never once mourned. Looking at the broken dummy, Eugene mutters that the blacksmith who made it is worthless, and selling such low-quality work should be punishable. His father coughs awkwardly and brushes it off, then reminds him that the bloodline ritual is tomorrow. Eugene sighs, thinking the ritual is a foolish Lionheart tradition. Every 10 years, children aged 10 to 15, direct or branch, are gathered for the trial. There they compete to prove who is worthy of the Lionheart name. Of course, the direct family has the upper hand, trained from childhood in both mana and steel. It's a system built to keep branch families beneath them. His father studies him again, realizing Eugene's talent is frightening. He almost wishes his son wasn't this exceptional, so he wouldn't feel the painful divide between talent and status. Eugene notices the sorrow on his father's face but lets it pass. He knows his father is quietly blaming himself for not being enough. Then, grabbing Eugene's shoulders, his father pleads with him not to compete seriously against the direct family's children. They've been trained in ways Eugene hasn't. Eugene smiles, reassuring him he won't, though inside he's already confident this will be an easy win. To him, it's just sparring against kids. He recalls that 3 children from the main branch will participate, the son of the first wife and twins born of a concubine. Alongside them, 6 from the branches. In other words, most are considered unworthy from the start. Raising his sword once more, Eugene smashes another dummy with a single strike. Now more than ever, he wants to see how strong Vermouth's descendants really are. The day of the ritual arrives. As Eugene rides the carriage, he reflects on his past life as Hamel. Back then, he considered himself talented, quick to learn, quick to improve. But even Vermouth told him that if he tried harder, he could be much greater. Eugene always replied that not everyone was a natural genius. The truth was, he wasn't. But someone close to him was. Vermouth, skilled in both sword and magic, worshipped as the god of war and the master of all. Once merely a duke of the Kiel Empire, he abandoned his title and was celebrated as a warrior until the very end. The others too lived on with glory. Senya, the youngest mage tower master in the history of Arath. Anis, called a saintess, worshipped throughout the Holy Empire. Moron, who built his own kingdom, though humorously named it after himself. All of them left remarkable legacies. So why then does the Demon King still live? Back then, Vermouth swore to destroy every last one, but instead he seems to have struck a promise with the Demon King of incarceration. Because of that, the war ended, and the world has enjoyed peace for 300 years. Across from Eugene, Lord Gordon speaks, asking if he's nervous. If he is, he'll falter in front of the main family. Eugene thanks him calmly. Gordon points out the vast Lionheart territory outside the carriage, but Eugene thinks to himself, why brag? It isn't even Gordon's land. He wonders aloud if such a massive estate isn't inconvenient. Gordon answers proudly that warp gates make travel easy. Eugene smirks inwardly, already knowing why he wasn't allowed to use one. Best to keep quiet. When they finally arrive at the Lionheart residence, its golden halls gleam in the sun. No grand welcome greets them. Eugene isn't surprised. Here, only direct descendants wear the lion crest on their chests. Asking Gordon if his relatives have arrived, he learns he's the first. They head to the guest house. There, a young maid introduces herself as Nina, promising to serve him throughout his stay. Eugene thanks her, though he quickly notices she's just 16, freshly trained. Assigning him someone so inexperienced is clearly a ploy to provoke him. But he doesn't bite. He asks when the others will arrive, and Nina says within 4 days. Eugene nods, then requests she guide him to the training grounds. She hesitates, but complies. Meanwhile, 2 children of the main family gossip about him. They sneer that he probably trained with farming tools instead of swords, that his carriage must reek of the countryside. They decide to confront him, calling it a warning. Another child spots them, but when Seal glares at him with eyes sharp as a beast, he retreats. Back at the training grounds, Eugene practices with a spear. He recalls how hard he trained as Hamel, and yet this new body is far stronger. No matter how much he pushes, he never falls ill, and wounds heal astonishingly fast. The blood of Vermouth's line grants him a vessel beyond imagination. Nina watches, stunned, to see someone move so swiftly, even with sandbags on his arms and a spear in hand. It's unbelievable. But suddenly voices interrupt. Two siblings, Cyan and Seal, would approach. And so, Hamel, once remembered as the foolish, walks a new path as Eugene Lionheart. But this time he holds the power to change everything. Will history repeat itself? Or will he finally carve out the destiny he was denied? That's the question. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to experience Hamel's full journey, check out the Hamel Recap playlist right here on the channel, where his legend continues to unfold. This is Manhwa Vortex, and I'll see you in the next story.